Welcome to the Rwagnation League Grand Prix here in Bahrain. We're here in China and it's an absolute pleasure to commentate for you. I'm Ben Rwagnation. Joining me on the caster's desk is the incredibly talented Jess Games 95. I'm Ben Rwagnation and joining me on the caster's desk is the legendary Kai Buccini. How you doing? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Rwagnation League F1 Grand Prix here in Japan. I'm Ben Rwagnation and joining me on the caster's desk is the legendary Jamie Amcast Elder. How you doing? I am so hyped for this race. Lights are on. Here we go. We're about to get underway with the Bahrain Grand Prix, round 2 of the Rwagnation League, and they are out and away we go. Noise has already been a mistake off the line. You can see Jorn's trying to get around the outside. Immediately Zerd's looking for an opportunity. Oh, look at Rainbow coming down the inside. McLaren drivers are going side by side and toe to toe, and everything seems to be just about okay. He's going to be the meat filling of this sandwich. Oh no! Oh, he's done it. He is your Drivers' World Champion for the Rwagnation League Season 3. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Rwagnation League Season 4 of the F1 Drivers. We're here in Australia, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to get this season underway. Not only is the entire grid stacked to the brim, we have even gone all out on the commentators as well. Yes, you're still stuck with me, but luckily I can introduce to you the incredible Mr. King Kodiak. How you doing?
Once again, you are far too kind, good sir, but I am here. Voice is a little bit rattly, sadly I've been unwell the last few days, but I am here nonetheless to give it everything that I have got left for this incredible season opener at Australia.
So, it's Australia. It's the first calendar of the season. Sorry, first race of the calendar is what I mean to say. And as you've just seen, there's been a lot of areas to attack. But this is the track that we're going to be attacking. So Jonty giving us a good run through towards turn 1. It's a home straight DRS zone into turn 1 and then turn 2. You've got to absolutely be on it in order for everything to go smoothly for you. Straight down another DRS zone up towards turn 3. Brake hard at the safety car box and get down into gear 3. Nicely through towards turn 4, which is a very awkward corner because if you run wide, you have a sausage curb. Now you go into turn 5 and then 6 is a little bump there into 7. There you go, nice and hard on the brakes. Don't get too much on the curbs because you will destabilize the car very much into the grass potentially if you actually screw it up. But brake hard again into another chicane. Nice and simple. Again, this one, curb on the inside, don't hit it. You will bounce far too far if you do. Now run up towards Vegas corner, as we like to call it. It hurts him every time we say it, but it's the most momentous occasion for me. It destroyed me emotionally. I have to keep it going through the quick chicane. DRS again now. This is another opportunity to attack or set yourself up for the attack going into the race because you cannot afford to mess things up. Nice clean right-hander coming up to the final few corners. Nice slow one. You're not actually on the power through there, but you'd have to brake hard now into the hard hairpin left. Don't run wide onto the grass. And now final corner. Again, get the exit just right. And then off we go. Straight down the DRS zone to the final area. Right, Mr. Kodiak. You've seen the track. You've seen how it all pans out. But this is the lineup. Listen to this. And Nick Turner and Copy are going to be the Williams drivers in the 87 and the 15 car. In the McLarens, we have Zones and Dan. We know they can be insane. I can't wait to see what they bring. In Mercedes, you have Hypers and Lemon. You know these guys. They are big names in the esports scene. Yolta and Brownie there in the Renaults. I'm just so excited just even talking about these drivers. Yonti and Yorn in the Haas. They're going to be properly chucking everything at this race. Then in Danny and Pampernick in the Ferraris. Forza Ferrari is what they're hoping to see at the end of this Grand Prix. And then in the Red Bulls, Kai Bacchini and Dennis. They're the ones going to be taking it to the action. Buemels and Ulyss in the Toro Rosso cars. They are properly trying to beat their sister team. Nicholas Longue, the Red Bull esports driver, along with Daniel in the Racing Point team. Alfa Romeo, you've got Mizzo, who's the last season's champion, along with some idiot in the Alfa Romeo. Now, we are in the qualifying session already, so I'm going to do it to you, Mr. Kodiak. I can only apologise for this, but you recognise...
If you were truly sorry, you wouldn't do it, but I know exactly where you're going. You crack on, you crack on, good sir.
I'm sorry, not sorry, is more what it is. It's prediction time. I want to hear who's going to be on pole, who's going to be in second, and who's going to be in third at the end of this qualifying session.
Nicholas Longue is going to be very, very hard to beat. We've seen how good he is in pretty much anything you throw him at. Kai Bacchini is a seasoned karting veteran in his own right, so he's going to be right up there. He's very quick. Oh, crikey, there's so many people. Some idiot has proven himself time and again over here in RLL. So he's going to be difficult to beat. Hypers has, again, a very proven entity. But mixed in with those is a number of names who are not quite so sure where they sit in this pecking order. So it's going to be really hard to get. But if I'm going to have to put three names in the top three, it's going to be Longue, Bacchini, and Hypers.
Wow, okay. I mean, Bacchini he can be quick. He's put a lot of practice into this track, that's for sure. I don't think, though, he's going to be able to get into that top three. I think Nicholas Longue, I think you're right, P1. And everyone's looking at sort of Nicholas and Hypers to be the front two. I really don't know, because I've seen some of the pace of these other drivers, and I've seen how much they can really take it to the track and dominate. But I've never seen them in this same race together. So I am going to go Nicholas. I am going to go Hypers. But P3, I think we're going to have to give it to some idiot. I think he has got ridiculous, pace, and I think he's going to be sitting up there on that top three step.
And somebody has proven himself in this very arena before. That's also something else to mention. That every league has their own little nuances, their own little feel. I'm sure you can appreciate that, having been involved in several leagues, as myself have in some way, shape, or form. So somebody already has an air of familiarity. So does Longue. Buemels, let's not forget him. He's been around here, this particular avenue for quite a while. So. The thing is with Nicholas Longue and Hypers as well, the expectation is on their shoulders. They know how to handle it, but it's still there. It's always there to prove themselves because they're representing the teams that they're signed for. So that it doesn't matter what avenue that they're representing their teams in, they're still representing them. So that is still something to bear in mind. But that's why I think someone like Kai Bacchini doesn't necessarily have... Yes, of course, he's very, very young. I appreciate that. However, it's not like he's inexperienced. So I think he's just got less pressure on his shoulders. So, Kai Bacchini is a bit of a wild card gamble for the top three. Absolutely true. Interesting, somebody hasn't come out of the pit yet. Somebody Longue has gone back into the pit. Copy hasn't come out either, oddly. So somebody is kind of hedging his bets a little bit, I wonder.
Yeah, potentially. Now, we do see quite often the Williams boys at Nick Turn and Copy. They very often give each other the toe throughout. I've seen it time and time again where they can absolutely smash the qualifying timings apart because they get those extra few tenths from that little team strategy. Whether anyone else is going to do it, I'm not sure. I mean, I would expect sort of Yolta and Brownie to potentially do it.
It's not all that effective here, though, because you don't have those really big straights. It's okay on the start-finish straight. The run from turns 1, 2, and through to 3, perhaps, but you run the risk if you're going to do that slipstream run from turns 9 and 10 right through that long left-hander, then through that chicane. It's really, really risky compared to how much you'll realistically gain along that particular stretch. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I don't really think it's all that effective compared to certain other tracks, at least. I mean, Spa, Monza, that kind of effect is huge in those certain tracks. Here, I'm not quite so convinced it's as effective.
Well, Dan, we're seeing some times coming on. Here comes Dan to do his, but he did invalidate, so he's going to have to do it all over again. But he's chosen not to do it on the set of tyres. He's going to have to go into the pits and go again. Fastest lap so far has been set by Euless, who's done a 1:19.851. So it's a good solid time, but he does have a few people biting on his heels. Panpernick, 1:19.928. Zones, 1:19.992. It's really starting to get stacked up there. And Yolta, P4, 1:20.170. It's looking good for him. It's looking good for the drivers. We still have half of the grid left to put a time on.
Yeah, still plenty of time for everybody to get their times on the board. I'm looking at somebody at the moment. He's on his time lap. He's just swept through turn 5, heading towards that very quick 6 and 7. Oh, Kai Buccini, you have dismayed me, sir. He's retired from the session and no higher. Well, there went my wildcard vote. Let's never mind it. 1:20.6 is his time. It's going to see him towards the 10 of the grid. Mizzo jumps up to third position with a 1:19.950. Very, very tight times at the top end of the grid. Well, actually, the top 5 are very close indeed. As Semidiot sweeps through 11 and 12. Now hard over to the right-hand side. Lets the car wander over to the left for turn 13. Does he kiss the apex? Yes, he does. Runs over the rumble strip. He's very light on fuel. Is he going to see this to completion, or is he going to bring this one in? Let's have a look. He's got, I can't quite see who that is ahead of him. He's going to see this one through. Let's see where this, whoa, again running very nice, but legal, and it puts him into only 7th with a 20.4. That was interesting. That looked quite quick, and he used a lot of his ERS as well, so I'm a little surprised. I didn't see any major issues, unless somebody was only running at 99.2%. Expect the other, point X percent to come along and see him further towards the top in the remaining minutes.
Yeah. So Nicholas Longe, who seems to be everyone's favourite to get P1, has actually just invalidated. So and I've seen him going to Mod 0. He's not going again, but Hypers, on the other hand, he's out there currently on a hot lap. Just started it, going through turn 5 and 6. Hopefully he can chuck in a beautiful lap time, but it's really sort of out of character to see him in that situation. Same as at Nick Turn, actually. Remember, Ed Nick Turn is the Season 2 Drivers' Champion. So the fact that he's, I guess, struggling just shows how, the game changes, the meta changes, the drivers change in their abilities, and some people who really chuck everything at it can actually prosper.
Yeah, absolutely. And different people prosper in different situations. Some like the high pressure situations. That's why you have those drivers that leave their banzai laps right to the very, very last. I wonder if Hypers took a little bit too much curb coming out of turn 12. Let's see if he finishes the lap and if it counts. He sweeps through 15. He's still got his ERS turned all the way up, so he's looking to complete this one. Time or not, uses every available inch on that last turn 16, and that time is a pole time. 1:19.518, 3/10 clear of Ulas. I'm glad you just say Ulas because I was struggling to wrap my head around the second name.
Yeah, I saw it, and then I didn't want to be that guy that ruined his name, so I just said, no, it's going to be Ulas. That's all we can do. Hopefully, I will learn it one day. I promise I will learn it. It'll be a mission to learn it. Daniel has attempted an outlap, and he attempted a hot lap too, but invalidated somewhere and has decided I need to reset and go again. Doesn't have the red fuel warning light, so he should be able to go and do another lap. We do have a Renault coming through the final corner, which I think is Yolta. No, it's not. It is Brownie, who's on an outlap, so he's just starting. We've got Toro Rosso coming up as well. Who is that? That is, again, another person starting a hot lap, so we'll keep an eye on them as well. We have a Mercedes coming, which is Get-Owned, I believe. Yep, but he's not happy with his lap, so he's either resetting to go again or coming into the pits.
Brownie on his hot lap, just coming through turn 4 now. Oh, it's a little bit squiggly on the exit of that. So it doesn't lose too much time, but it just does unsettle you that little bit. And every corner is very crucial. Well, you could argue every corner in every track is crucial, but there are some areas where you can get away with having a bit of a wander. That's not too bad, but what it does is just upsets you as the driver. Oh, now if he hasn't invalidated before, surely he did there. It was very wide in the exit of turn 9. He's still keeping everything turned up, though. So foot still flat to the floor, ERS still turned up. Sweep through 11 and 12. DRS wide open. Ooh. No, doesn't open the DRS, so I think he's going to back that one off. Unless he hadn't invalidated, but he's still got quite a bit of time to find. We will see what... yeah, there we go. ERS turned down. I think he's... if he hadn't invalidated before, he pretty much jumped over the apex of 14. That's I wouldn't be surprised if he brings that one in. Yes, he does. So Brownie's still got some time to find, but the minutes are ticking away.
He is who I like to call Captain Consistency, someone who can absolutely keep it consistent from a penalty perspective and also just chuck in the same lap after lap after lap. So we'll see if he can bring that into the race with him and whether or not he'll gain him anything. But we did see a lap time get chucked in from zones. He's now very close on the heels of Hypers. Look at that, 119.574. He's only 600ths of a second behind him. A bit less than that, actually, and very much an opportunity for him to potentially take pole here. We are still waiting to see Nicholas Longe put a time in. We have now seen Nick Turn, put a time in. He's on a 119.943, so still very uncharacteristic in terms of his pace. He's definitely capable of being around zones. I've seen it. It's just whether or not he's feeling comfortable on his lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And just being 500ths of a second off the back of Hypers is nothing to be ashamed about whatsoever. That was a stormer from zones, but I think it's fair to say that people are still saving their Banzai laps. We haven't seen the best from everybody. And Hypers is out again. He's not sitting on his laurels at all. Interesting. He's opted to come out again. Euless, he's either invalidated it or he's done his lap and not improved. He remains on 119.8. In what is now third position. Longe is now on his next time lap. And I would imagine he is going to absolutely floor this. All eyes and expectation are on his shoulders. So let's see what he can achieve.
Yeah, he's very much chucking in a nice line there. Get very wide. I don't know how they can be so aggressive on that exit there, because it's just so risky. You touch that sausage curb. In fact, I've actually seen Hypers in another league where he just went a bit too wide, got on that sausage curb and pretty much beached it. That's how much it affected him. If you run that a bit too much, it's just so risky. But then again, in qualifying, you have to take all the risks in order to achieve ridiculous lap times. There's Nicholas Longe then still going through up into the fast chicane. We saw it claim one driver already.
Yeah,
it's not claimed him though.
I think that looked a lot of curb on the exit of 12. I wouldn't be surprised if he's binned that one. We'll see if he opts to complete this one. It's often difficult to tell from the spectator cam whether they have, whether they've just gone too far over, unless they've gone miles over, or whether they've just about nailed it. He's keeping the ERS turned up though, so this may well still be valid. So he sweeps through the final turn. What does Longe get on the board? Is it pole? It was invalid. I, for once, had got the call right. So, but interestingly, he's not on red fuel. Yeah, his ERS is down to 0, so he might have had enough fuel to do another lap, but he's looking to just recharge everything. He didn't have a lot of ERS left. So I think that's just that one mistake. And that's the thing, though. That's the thing with the putting all the expectation on a single driver. All it takes is that one mistake, and if you keep making that mistake, you'll be starting at the back, no matter how good you are.
Yeah, well, this is it. And we have heard from the live stewards. So remember, the RNL has a beautiful stewarding team who are there live and watching the race and reacting to any situation and delivering penalties mid-race. We have just heard from them that, sadly, due to technical issues, Dennis, or Yesmiter, I think I've definitely pronounced his name wrong, he will not be joining us for this Grand Prix, which is why you are only seeing 19 drivers instead of the usual 20. But at Nickton, he's going to try and get rid of our sorrows and get rid of our issues, because he's currently on a hot lap and he's looking fast, but he's also looking a little bit messy. He's not really been as clean and tidy as I expected it to be. Running very wide and touching a bit of those grass areas. Hypers goes faster though, 119.327.
Nice.
Has at Nickton improved? He has. He's put himself P3. It is a 119.716, a really solid lap time. Still needs to get some more tenths out.
He's smooth. It's easy for us to say in the commentary box. It's a different thing to do when you're under pressure with the world looking upon you. But yeah, Nick Turn, like you say, was a little scruffy in certain areas. If we can just tidy those out, he could easily find a 10th or two. But what a stonker from Hypers there. 19.327 on the board. Very, very nice indeed. Who is out there at the moment? The other Williams of Copy here. Where is he? He's just come to turn 5. He's got one of the runners behind him. I don't think Copy is pressing on. No, he's already set his lap. Brownie is the runner that is behind him. He is not looking to do anything more. Ulas is on a time lap. He's right behind them, actually. Well, it's not right behind them. He's a few corners back. Coming through turn... Where is he? Turn 8 now. Is heading to 9 and 10. And this is the time, the last 3 minutes of any qualifying session is what I call the banzai phase. It is when everybody pretty much comes out and leaves nothing on the table. Everything is turned up to 11, do or die. That's too much. Again, that's caught another one out. We saw Nicholas Longo do exactly that same thing. Ulas has taken too much of that curb at turn 12, but that's the problem. You've got to, because you are at absolute full crank coming along that long left-handed way. If he hadn't invalidated before, he definitely did there, going into the kitty litter, and he's probably going to bring that one in. Yes, he does. He's going to have to hurry if he wants to get out again into the aforementioned banzai phase, but again, just pushing a little bit too hard, coming out of that fast left-hander and then sweeping through to the right. But you've got to. That's the thing. You have to use every available inch that you can, and we see it. The real drivers do the same thing. They'll cut that as much as they possibly can to just keep the momentum sweeping through. That's I say straight, it's a bent straight, if you like, heading down towards turn 13. So I can understand how it's happening, but they haven't got a lot of time now to correct the mistake.
Now, there's been two things that have happened there. We have just come to what I like to call the bit before your banzai phase, the calm before the storm. It's just ending as we speak. But the bit I've just spotted is the Williams boys held each other up. So Nick Turn came in first, I believe, and then Copy followed him afterwards, but he was held up for such a long time. Now they might not be able to actually get a time in. They're going to have to get in and get out so fast and then get around the track. I think maybe they've made a big mistake.
One of them could well lose out, but here we go. Now, lots of people coming out on track now. I think I'm right in saying that Longuet is going to be the next one to set a lap time, if I'm looking at the newly implemented track map correctly. Here he goes, off the last turn. Let's burn out my throat a little bit more. Here we go, on board with the Racing Point driver. Oh, that was a lot of curb off of turn 1. May well have already invalidated it, but he's still pushing on nonetheless. ERS turned up as much as it will go. Down to turn 3, heavy on the brakes. He locked up there before. Looked like he kept that one going. Just kisses the apex at 3 and 4. Wanders over as much as he dares. Sweeps over to the left and floors it through turn 5. Along this very wonky straight and into 6, he's going to have a fair bit of traffic ahead of him. Hopefully they're paying attention to someone coming up behind him. Well done, get owned. You're in 4th position, 97 now. Excellent effort there. Look at that. Every single car is now on track, so the Williams boys might have just gotten away with it. It really depends on how quickly they get the round lap done. Oh, Brownie! Oh, this could be dangerous. No, he does manage to get out of the way in time. Through this a very tricky chicane. Does he invalidate it? Oh, again, very close. I think he may have gotten away with it this time. On the exit at 12, sweeps through this wrong right-hander. That's just Chenin that's gone out of the way. Into 13, doesn't quite hit the apex, but not too bad as the straight's not that long. Down to 14. Oh, that may have done it. That may have killed it. We will see. Does he choose to complete the lap? He does. He was a little wide off of 14. Oh, so close to the wall yet again. Yep, my boys are going to keep doing that. I can't help it. Longuet takes the pole with a 13, with a 19, with a 3:05. Oh, 22 thousandths of a second ahead of Hype. He hadn't invalidated, but I could not have left anything on the table there. What a stormer.
Yeah, he really chucked it all in there. So many times his back end stepped out and he just held it right the way through. So really solid work from him. We are seeing a lot of drivers coming to the line now to do a hot lap. Danny did do a lap. It's a 120.5, so he is currently P15, but it's not all about the qualifying. It's all about the race. Remember that. So time's starting to tick in now. That's Daniel's coming as well. He's done a 120.8. I see a Haas a bit further back. Who's that? Yonti. He's coming in as well, and he's a 10th up currently, which will put him a little bit ahead of Buemels potentially, depending on how much he's gained in that final corner or lost. As he comes up to the line, goes P8, so he's more than just Buemels. He actually jumps Mizzo as well. Beautiful stuff.
Nicely done. Both Williams did make it onto a timed lap. So barely, but they did make it. Dan comes across the line of the McLaren. One at 20.137. Pan Peric in 7th with a 119.928. Has crossed the line. We've had a Renault that is Yeltek, 120.170. So close in between each increment. With the exception of sort of between 2nd and 4th. There's a bit of a time there. And there's absolutely nothing in between everybody else, which is absolutely amazing. Just Chilling jumps up to 10th with a 120.1. Brownie, I think that was 120.3. Now the Mercs are going to come across the line. Get home 5th, 19.753.
Hypers. He's done it. He's actually beaten him. 119.284. He has knocked down the Titan. Down a
Wow.
position. It's all going to be going in towards turn one. Which one of the two of them is going to get the better start? I've heard Crow or Nicholas Longe, he brags quite frequently about how good his starts are. So Hypers is really going to need an answer to that situation. Mizzo's coming in. Is this Daniel? Daniel's on a lap, but he's not actually pushing. Oh, he's also got network-related issues. Dennis has managed to make it, so he won't be able to set his car up, but he will be able to join the race.
Well, what a finish to that qualifying session. Yeah, Daniel is really struggling. He is bouncing around everywhere. That is not going to help his times whatsoever. I think everyone else is either they've gone over the line already and just meandering back to the pit lane. But what a stormer for Hypers must be absolutely ecstatic. He had 8% ERS left, as I've just called out with him now on his cooldown lap. So he very literally had nothing left in the tank. I think has he run out of fuel? Or was he? Oh no, it'd be AI about at this point, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So I do wonder if he literally also ran out of fuel. I've seen that one happen as well. But oh wow, to put one over Nicholas Longe. Okay, first race of the season, I get that, but you want a confidence boost, and there it is, right there.
That was huge. I was absolutely not expecting it to go the way that it did, but that's so good. So it will be Hypers starting on pole, albeit barely. It's only 200ths of a second between the two of them, but he has set the time boards alight. 119.284. Nicholas Longe in P2, Zones in P3, and Nick Turn P4, Get Owned in P5. Eulis P6 with Pampenic chasing him down in P7. Yonti in 8th with Mizzo in 9th, and JC rounds out the top 10. But the times don't break the 1 second margin until you get to P14. And it's only just outside of it even then, because even Brownie is right on that limit as well, with Copy there in 16th, Danny 17th, Kaib Genie, who did set a pretty good lap time on his first run, but then did DNF on his in-lap, I believe it was, with Daniel now in 19th, and Dennis, who seemingly has managed to get in to round us off the full 20-driver grid.
Better late than never, as I say. Yep, there he is. So Dennis does indeed join us. Excellent effort. Well done, sir. So both of us got 2 of our top 3 predictions right. Who was your third one?
I had Zones in the third place.
So yours was right.
I was right, except, and I almost got the full 100% prediction, except Hypers let me down by being too fast, which is, I guess, the right way to let me down, if you're going to let me down at all. So I'm pretty pleased with that, but I'm a little bit worried, I'm going to be honest. Going in towards turn 1, I have seen Nicholas's starts. I have seen how insane he can be as soon as the lights go out. His reaction speeds are just phenomenal, but Hypers is young. He's still able to react faster than most people. Eulis has left the session. I'm not sure what's happened there. We may... Hopefully he can get back in. But we may have to do a rehost. We'll give it a second. We'll see how we do. Formation lap is underway. He has joined again. Is his car there? No, he's meant to be P6. No. His car is not there. I don't think he's going to be able to race unless we do a restart.
That would be a great shame. It would be a great shame if he isn't able to participate.
All right.
Ooh, now, if we run with what we've got a very interesting tyre spread. Top 10, soft. We all know that. But we have got it's an even split, mediums and hards, in the bottom 10.
It's very... I mean, I don't rate the hards. I was saying earlier that the hards are just such a bad tyre to be on. You really, really don't want to be on those hards. They're just so slow.
I never see hards used in 50% races. I really... Once in a blue moon, I've seen them in 50% races and in esports orders. Very, very rare. The only times I ever see hard tyres used is if someone has had a first lap incident. And we've lost Copy as well. Oh dear. Well, his car at least is on track, so hopefully he'll be able to rejoin and resume his vehicle from 16th position. Yeah, the only time I've seen hard tyres used is if someone's had a problem, and there he is, in the first lap, maybe 2 laps of a 50% race, and they're forced onto hards, and only ever once have I seen a hard tyre strategy pay off. Way more times it just backfires. So I'm really surprised to see 5 drivers using the hard tyres, and it's not like it's the back 5 either.
Yeah, it's very odd. We did have Copy leave and rejoin, so hopefully he's made it back in, but we still haven't got Euless on track. Whether or not he's going to be able to get it.
Copy's car is not ghosted, so I'm taking that to mean that he is in it.
Yeah, he's definitely back. But
I think we have no sixth place, sadly.
we'll see if his car, because he's back in the session, so the game might put his car on the track. I'm just consulting to confirm if we are doing a rehost. Yep, we are rehosting.
Aha.
So hold those nerves. I know the suspense is killing you. Trust me, it's killing me. But we are going to have to very swiftly do a rehost. It's the only solution to this situation. So let's do that now.